Welcome to another broadcast of the Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Thursday mornings at 9:30 at the Lorain County Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and as always, you are invited to attend.
Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the May 25th Lorain County Board of Commissioners meeting. Betty has a really cute dog today.
Good morning. This week's featured pet at the Lorain County Dog Kennel is a stray female mix. She is in cage number 55 and is eligible for adoption on Saturday, May 27th. Look at that color. Isn't she pretty? What is this strange place? How old is she? About a year old. They said she's house trained too. She makes someone a nice pet. Stop by the dog kennel. We're still batting 1,000. And she needs a good home. She doesn't bark either. Stop by our dog kennel. Thank you very much.
Our thought for the day: if you are too busy to feel miserable, you will be happy. Okay, Teresa.
At 11 o'clock, we're going to have the investment advisory meeting. Under resolutions, number 1, accept the recommendation of Lorain County Economic and Industrial Development Corporation for the revolving loan fund application submitted by JBC Technologies, Inc. for the purchase of machinery and equipment at their facility at 7887 Bliss Parkway, North Ridgeville, Ohio.
And they met at 8:30 and recommended approval to the board?
Yes, they did.
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Kalo can enlighten us further.
Well, we can have Rebecca and gentleman from JBC.
Good morning, Commissioners. The CIC did meet this morning, and they recommended approval of this loan to JBC Technologies. They are buying a piece of equipment. We'll be creating 4 new jobs. They have their financing in place. Mr. Bliss is putting in 10% of the cost, and he's asking us for $87,500. Mr. Joe Bliss with JBC Technologies is here and could speak a little bit about the project and the company.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Commissioners. I'm not as cute as the dog, but it's a tough act to follow. I'm Joe Bliss, president of JBC Technologies. We've been around since 1988. I was born and raised in North Ridgeville and basically around this community for my entire life. We've got a business that we've moved to North Ridgeville, built a brand new facility, about 54,000 square feet. We're currently employing about somewhere between 60 to 70 employees, and it's continuing to grow. We've added a national sales manager, which is allowing us to go out and grow our sales even more. We never had anybody even doing sales for us, and it's going extremely well. The piece of equipment that we were looking for is a complementary piece of equipment that we've already purchased when we moved into the new building. We tell our customers that they can basically sole source with us, and we build in redundancy so that if something happens to a piece of equipment, we have a backup piece of equipment to keep the production running so that our customers are not at risk. This concept has worked extremely well for us, and this pieces of equipment basically assures our customers of a steady stream of supply of material. And in exchange for that, we continue to grow, and they continue to give us more business. Our intent is to become a sole source with a customer. That we want to convince them that there's no reason for them to have to go anywhere else to buy their products. They don't need 2 sources. They can just buy from us and be assured that we're not going to shut them down. But again, thank you. I appreciate your faith in us. Everybody is working really hard to grow our business. We love our new home, and we love this area. So thank you very much.
Well, that also brings 4 new jobs with it also, doesn't it, Mr. Bliss?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Very important. We'll take jobs one at a time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move for approval?
Second.
Any further discussion? Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Job and Family Services bills?
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Investments?
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Appropriations?
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Transfers?
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Advances, repayments?
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Requisitions?
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Travel expenses?
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Bills?
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Under the Commissioners, authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary for employees within the jurisdiction of Lorain County Commissioners.
Commissioners, I have a number of personnel issues to talk to you about in executive session at the conclusion of a regular board meeting. I want to update you on where we are with labor negotiations and additionally talk about one or two potential new hires for some vacancies we have. So I would ask that we have an executive session at the conclusion of regular board business.
Approve change order number GC1 to Schreimer Construction Company, North Olmsted, in the amount of $12,507 for the Administration Building 5th floor office alterations.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Approve change order to Schreimer Construction, North Olmsted, in the amount of $7,380 for Durasand to be included in the Administration Building 4th floor corridor.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Under the Community Development Department, approve various contracts for issuance to homeowners that include a 10% contingency. One, Everett Excavating Graft in the amount of $1,606 for a sanitary sewer tie-in as a grant to Florence Sears at 7613 Overland Road, Amherst. 4 bids were received, this being the most responsive, complying with specifications, and includes a permit fee to the City of Lorain. Burnett Septic Services, Inc., LaGrange, in the amount of $2,970 for a sewer line repair and replacement as a grant for Bonnie Looney at 195 South Point Drive, Avon Lake. 2 bids were received, this being the most responsive, complying with specifications. Everett Excavating Graft in the amount of $1,606 for sanitary sewer tie-in as a grant to Thomas Dunphy at 8664 Overland Road, Amherst. 4 bids were received, this being the most responsive, complying with specifications, and includes a permit fee to the City of Lorain. Again, Everett Excavating Graft in the amount of $1,606 for sanitary sewer tie-in as a loan, that should be a loan, not a grant to this one, to James and Carolyn Brink at 8955 Overland Road, Amherst. 4 bids were received, this being the most responsive, complying with specifications, and includes a permit fee to the City of Lorain. And Everett Excavating Graft in the amount of $1,606 for a sanitary sewer tie-in as a loan to Ricky and Mary Bowens at 7625 Overland Road, Amherst. 4 bids were received, being the most responsive, complying with specifications, and includes a permit fee to the City of Lorain.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Under Solid Waste Management, establishing Lorain County Commissioners Litter Strike Force in the amount not to exceed $80,000 to address litter in Lorain County through a comprehensive, cooperative effort with communities and even neighborhoods within the county.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, Mr. Billman, can we go over this for everybody's benefit? We've been working on it, and the commissioners got your paperwork on this, but so everybody can understand what we're doing. We talked about it last week.
And the cost has gone down quite a bit.
Correct. Yeah, we
and,
cut the cost down.
We'll see if Mr. Billman explains that, and then we can readdress it.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioners. Good morning. Dan Billman, Solid Waste Director for the county. We have a goal in this program to address the litter throughout the county, and through a cooperative effort with the communities and the neighborhoods throughout the county. We'll be talking to the mayors and the community groups to see which areas should be cleaned up, and we'll also be looking for areas in targeted areas that we already know need to be cleaned up. We'll be picking up not only litter, but we'll be cutting the grass to keep the litter from forming back up against the grass and other obstacles. So within that structure, we will also be picking up the recyclables that are there, the cans and the bottles, the papers, and in that respect, we'll be looking for someone within the community, like the fire department, to take the cans so they can use them in their programs as well. We'll be donating those collectibles to like a fire department or to a community group that can use them. We have some benefits with this program. One of them is economic benefit. You say, how, well, why is there an economic benefit to picking up litter? In a clean neighborhood, you'll find that people will look at their properties better when there's not litter flowing all over the place. You're going to look at businesses coming into the community and say, boy, that's a nice area. I want to live there. I want to put my business there. So we will have property values are directly reflected in clean communities. So if we have litter being picked up constantly, and we can actually influence the neighborhoods and the communities to do what we started, that's going to be a big benefit to us. And hopefully that when we get these strike teams out there, that's what they'll do. People see them out there. They're going to be very, very prevalent in the neighborhoods. Our people will be dressed up in fluorescent type of garments, so they'll be readily seen picking up the litter, and hopefully that will influence everybody else. In a neighborhood that's constantly under stress from litter, you'll find that crime rates are higher in those areas. And so there has been studies done to that effect, that we can show people that if, in fact, we clean up neighborhoods and they stay cleaned up, crime rate will go down. One of the other benefits to our program is health. We always have a danger to wildlife and aquatic creatures, and it's well documented that when birds ingest some of this litter, they have a problem, and it clogs their digestive system. So if we can keep some of that down, keep some of the plastic six-pack holders from strangling birds, that will in fact help us in that respect. Psychologically, litter is depressing. Again, if you have litter in the neighborhood, you can have significant economic and social impact on the quality of life of neighborhood residents. So I need to stress that. There's been a lot of research done on that, and it will definitely, as we go out into the communities, help them in that respect. The logistics of our program, we'll be getting phone calls into the office, and we'll be taking that and putting it into a work order, and the maintenance department will be taking these strike teams out and doing the cleanups. They will give us a report back to the solid waste department, and then we will develop a spreadsheet so we can tell what we've been doing throughout this period of time, and we can go back to the communities and show them that we've done these areas. We'll report back to the communities, as I said, and we will also publish the activities in our magazines and news reports. So that's basically what we have. Jim or Tad?
He didn't cover the cost reduction from last week, what we gave?
Commissioners, what we've done is we've gone back to the numbers because it was looking a little expensive
Right.
with the project, and we've reduced back some of the equipment costs by using some additional, some equipment that we have currently available through our maintenance department that's not always fully engaged on a regular basis. So we're going to cost share with the program from the Commissioner's office, specifically from the maintenance department with a vehicle and a trailer and some bodies that we have right now. We've also looked at the personnel costs and reduced back some of the hours, putting on that kind of assistance for 40 hours. We're not going to be able to productively use those bodies 40 hours. It'll be back to 30 hours. We'll have a 6-hour day, 5 days a week, and that'll be mixed up a little bit depending on the need. And then the equipment cost is a one-time cost. We'll have that equipment for a number of years to support initiatives like this into the future. So the real cost is the labor, and we're looking at about $32,000 or $33,000 for a 3 or 4 month real strong initiative to get into those communities.
Well, I think that augments what Engineer Carney's doing. He's covering it back in with the townships and such,
Correct.
with his litter control, county roads and township roads. And with his litter strike team, we'll be able to come to the northern end and help the cities out with all the cleanup, especially along the railroad tracks where you get a lot of debris laying around, things that don't get cleaned up with the volunteer groups who do a nice job. I mean, last Saturday was our Pride Day, and I was out doing my 2 miles with a team of 10 of us, my assistant, friends of mine. We got our 2 miles cleaned up, but it's not an all-the-time project. So I think it just helps, I mean, it enhances the program Engineer Carney has, along with cleaning up the cities, making it look nicer. You've been out there before on the
Many
litter
times.
pickups, right, picking up in the alleys and things. People pick up the main areas, but don't pick up where a lot of the litter congregates at. So I think it's going to be a very nice program, and for little expense. The long-term use of the equipment is the first outlay, but after that, it's similar in scope to Engineer Carney's program on the litter pickup.
Certainly, I mean, you're talking about, $32,000, $33,000 in consumable labor, and then you'll still have the equipment that can be reused in other areas. The one thing Mr. Billman mentioned, I heard that they're going to pick up the collectibles and give them to somebody. What I think you meant was that we're going to take the collectibles for recycling, then we're going to donate the proceeds to...
Well, there's programs already in effect.
Donate the cans to the fire departments that already take them, and if we can find somebody to take the plastics, then we will do that too.
Yeah, a lot of the community groups already have the recycling there, so we just take what we pick up and give to those groups, or they pick up from us.
Okay. The one thing that I think we should point out is that we're going to have a grass crew also as part of this initiative to go in there and take down the overgrowth, because that's a big reason why a lot of trash accumulates.
Right, you get stuck in the high grass and it looks terrible out there. I actually I had a meeting with Mayor Smith from Avon yesterday, and he liked the program. The only thing he asked is if we can find a way to get on the approaches to Route 2 and clean up all the garbage out there, and I said, I'll look into it, but I think that's a state issue.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we contact the state and
Call
see
Senator
if we
Armbruster.
get them out here to do a little of that work. And I think that we also have an initiative underway with the Sheriff's Department also in this particular area, correct, Mr. Billman?
That is correct, and on the entrances to, or egress for the state roads, ODOT does coordinate a program with state prisons to do some of that, but they don't do a very good job. so-
Right, yeah, there's a lot laying around, and that's what Mayor
Right.
Smith pointed out, coming into his community, Avon Lake and such, there's always debris on the approaches, and he wishes there was a way. He says when he's retired someday, he's just going to see if he can get a lawnmower and work for ODOT and do that.
Now we're just going to get a couple big blower vacs and blow it across Crocker-Bassett Road. No
There you
problem.
go, yeah, blow it east. Thank you,
Thank you,
Dan.
Commissioners.
Anything further? Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Under Children's Services,
Did you have something you wanted to add?
I wanted to ask a question, yes. Shirley R. Johnson, Oberlin. This item mentions comprehensive cooperative effort with the communities. I don't quite understand what that means. Is the cost going to be shared with the various communities, towns and cities and townships? And then who's going to be responsible? If I want to complain about the fact that litter hasn't been picked up and grass hasn't been cut, do I call Mr. Billman, or do I call the township trustee, or do I call the city manager? Or
The city
what?
manager, we're going to get our work orders from the city officials.
Yeah, the intent of the program is for it to come from whoever the safety service director or city manager might be of each community, and then they'll alert us to where their largest need or might be. So whatever, based on residents' complaints or what they see driving around their communities, they'll be able to call us with an area they want cleaned up.
They'll call you, and you pay for, that program pays
Right.
for it, not the city.
Correct. It's to help the situations they've already got in those communities, Shirley.
Let me just say one thing to your concerns. This is an additional program, so we really shouldn't get called with complaints. We're
Right.
trying to help. So if something isn't cleaned, that wouldn't be our responsibility. And as I spoke with Mr. Billman, the request for assistance will be directed to my office, and then I'll work with Mr. Billman on where we can go. I expect the request for assistance to outstrip our ability to meet all those needs. So we're
Correct.
going to have to evaluate and weigh where we're going to go and how much we gain on the effort we're going to receive. So we're not going to be able to meet everybody's expectation. We're just going to do the best we can with a new program. If there's a lot of need and it's producing a lot of outcome, then maybe next year we can take a
Expand
look
the
at
program.
doing a little bit
Correct.
more. So this is more a pilot program right now. But I do expect to have more calls than we're able to deliver on. I just don't want to get into a big scrap in the communities over why we didn't do something. I would hope that the demand is there, and then we can work on it from there. But we shouldn't receive complaints on somebody didn't cut their yard or a field. That should continue to go back to the local jurisdiction, and we will assist them as best we can.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know I spoke to the city of Lorain yesterday, and they're very excited about it. They have
They should
places-
be.
Yeah, places that they'd like us to come out and take care of, so.
We're waiting for your list, Commissioner.
Under Children's Services, authorize various additions and deletions of personnel in Lorain County Children's Services Department to utilize their Shell Oil Gasoline Credit Card not to exceed $200 and the agency's MasterCard not to exceed $2,500 for the year 2006.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Under the engineer, reject the bids received for Island Road Bridge number 0441 and 0530. They have exceeded the engineer's estimate by more than 10% of $103,079, and instruct the clerk to re-advertise in the Morning Journal on May 30th and June 6th and open at 2 p.m. on June 13th.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Instruct the clerk to schedule various public hearings to be held Thursday, June 22nd, 2006, for various subdivisions in Lorain County to approve detention basin and outlet maintenance costs to be placed on permanent county maintenance. Notice will be published in the Chronicle Telegram on June 8th and 15th, and letters will be sent to the property owners on June 9th. One for Stone Ridge Estate Subdivision, Columbia Township. Dave Gill is the developer. Construction cost is $23,200, and each sublot benefiting from drainage items will pay 5% of the total construction cost of $1,160 per year, and each lot assessed $400 per year.
No.
40.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
40 per year.
They just all died when they heard that.
Hearing will be held at 10 o'clock. Eagle Point Estates Subdivision, Columbia. Dave Gill is the developer. Construction cost is $10,000. Each sublot benefiting from drainage item will pay 5% of total construction cost of $500 per year, and each lot assessed $31.25. Hearing will be at 10:05 a.m.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Approve and enter into various subdividers and escrow agreements between Lorain County Board of Commissioners, and certificate of insurance was filed by the Fidelity Group, Independence, Ohio. Dave Gill, Eagle Point Estates Subdivision, Columbia Township, estimated construction cost is $220,000. And then Dave Gill again for Stone Ridge Estate Subdivision, Columbia, estimated construction cost is $665,000.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Approve the request of the City of Lorain with drainage improvements for the Henderson Drive underpass. Estimated cost is $300,000. Lorain County will advance $180,000 and ended construction. Lorain County General Fund contributing not to exceed $130,000 and County Engineer $50,000.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes. Well, Jim, can we go over this, what we've worked out with the city of Lorain to take care of this underpass problem where the Kalinowskis passed away at?
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll refresh your thinking on this. It was several months ago when the board was approached by the city of Lorain, and we have an embankment that goes up to the bridge there, and some of the drainage water coming off that embankment could qualify as being our responsibility. I say could because there's no sense arguing over it. There was an unfortunate incident that occurred under that overpass, and there's been significant problems under that overpass for a number of years, probably decades. And the board was agreeable to partnering with Lorain to improve the community in that area and to reduce the chances of a reoccurrence with this. Quite frankly, most of all the infrastructure underneath that overpass was well past being able to be cleaned out and reused, and they had a significant project that had to be undertaken. The board agreed to partner with about 50 or 60% of those costs. And working with the city, we took out some things they wanted, put in some additional things, and we have about a $300,000 project that will solve the problem, should end any accumulation of water under the underpass. Mr. Carney has reviewed those plans, or at least his office has, and while he was doing that, I told him I thought it'd be a wonderful idea if he partnered with us and assisted with some of the economics, which he graciously did, and was partnering on $50,000 towards the project. So I want to commend Mr. Carney for also getting on board to improve the community along with the commissioners.
Who's going to oversee this project, though? Us or them, or in conjunction, cooperatively, Ken?
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Excuse me. It'll be a Lorain project. There'll be engineering was designed by the City Engineering Department, and they'll be in charge of the project. We're participating, and our monies will be released after the construction is completed and approved.
You agree with the method they're using to fix the problem?
Yes, I do. There's at least a dozen catch basins and some major storm sewers to the size of 12 to 36 inch, emptying into a 78, and they have agreed to do an additional project on the access road themselves at 100% for the city of Lorain. But this seems to be a very, very attractive project in terms of the cooperation between Lorain City and the Lorain County Commissioner's Office. I congratulate you for participating in this. It's an unfortunate situation that occurred last year. And again, I want to congratulate you on your speedy involvement with this, as well as the Lorain City Council and her administration. This is a perfect example of cooperation between county and city, and appreciate the opportunity to help. And as a general reminder, we as a county are federally, nationally recognized in our safety program, and this is just one more example of increasing the safety for the well-being of the citizens of Lorain.
Thank you.
As you can see in the resolution, I specified that we would release funding at the conclusion of the project. My understanding is that they're waiting to let contracts in the city of Lorain. They don't need funds to do that. They can use this resolution for their auditor to issue a certificate of availability of funds based upon our agreement to pay up to this point. I just want to make sure that the project progresses well before we send money. I may come back to you during the project if they want to do a draw when things are working and just modify that resolution, but let them do a draw. But for right now, I want to sit with this. They should be able to certify availability of funds with this resolution of intent. And I would ask that, Madam Clerk, if you would get that over to the city expeditiously, that will assist in moving this forward.
Anything further? Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Cordes, County Administrator?
I have no comments this morning, except to remind you about the executive session. Thank you.
Mr. Flanagan, Assistant County Prosecutor?
I have no reports this morning, but I would like to meet an executive session with the commissioners to discuss pending litigation, the litigation involving Karen Pleben, and the litigation involving GQ Contracting Company.
Commissioner's report.
I see Rebecca Jones has left, but I wanted to let everyone know that she attended a 4-week-long training event for the National Development Council, and on February 16th she took her test and passed it. In turn, she received an Economic Development Finance Professional Certificate, and I just wanted to commend her for taking the time and effort to continuing her education in a very important aspect of our Lorain County. And that's all I have.
Commissioner, can I piggyback on that comment for
Sure.
a moment? I want to thank the board for partnering with Rebecca, too, to allow her to participate in those things. Over the last few years, we're building a really dynamic team over at the Community Development Department, and it's through the support of this board in allowing people educational opportunities and getting them certified, and it's paying them correctly and hiring correct people and doing that. We have a great team over there. I couldn't be prouder of the work that comes out of the Community Development Department. I'm looking for even greater synergies when we're on the 5th floor with the other groups, and I don't think we tell the board enough how appreciative working for you that we are of the support we receive from this board, because without your support, we couldn't do it.
What a
That means
brown
you
nose,
like
huh?
us, huh?
Excuse me?
So what a brown nose.
You didn't choke on those words?
No, Commissioner. They were
Took his
sincere,
nice pill
sincere
this
and
morning.
heartfelt.
I love you, man.
Yes, I'd like to thank my fellow commissioners for approving the litter cleanup program that I've been working on with Dan, and it just ties in. We had our Adopt a Road program, as I explained, and it was nice. It's been my 3rd year working from 28th Street to Route 254, Cooper Foster Park Road, and it's getting cleaner every year. So it's nice that people are saying what's going on and picking up after their lawns. It's in my report, Commissioner Blair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just a couple things. We have a Boy Scout patch. I think you've probably got a copy of it, and I just want to acknowledge this publicly. This is the Lorain County Commissioners Boy Scouts Pride Day. Can you pick this up, Hal? There were over 1,000 of these Boy Scout patches that were probably distributed on Pride Day, which was Saturday, May 20th, through the Lorain County Solid Waste Department. And I think this is pretty neat. If we had that many young people helping us with cleanup, God bless those little Boy Scouts, well, little and big Boy Scouts, and their leaders. They call them all kinds of different things, but we appreciate their efforts. We really do. That was the first thing. And then secondly, I'd just like to mention that I got an email yesterday from the Ohio Rail Development Commission that said the Ohio Senate passed a resolution supporting the Ohio Hub by a vote of 33-0, and this Ohio Hub plan calls for the Ohio Rail Development Commission to do a critical environmental impact study. This is the next phase, so we look for more and better things to come. And 3 Ohioans sit on the committee, the Appropriations Committee. One of them is Marcy Capter, my congresswoman. And we have spoken many times to Marcy about commuter rail and freight rail. And I think it's the thing of the future, so it looks like they're moving forward. And then lastly, I see hiding behind Joyce is Miss Rebecca Gray from the Lorain County Community Alliance. This is your last chance, Rebecca, before our meeting on June the 2nd.
Good morning, Commissioners. I just want to remind you that we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary of the Lorain County Community Alliance next Friday in the new public hearing room, and we really look forward to it. Invite you all. We've got quite a few registrations that come in, and it should be a really good program.
Thank you, Rebecca.
I got something in email or something that they're pulling the tell-taber off of the ballot for November, so our little spins at the end of the meeting with that
They heard
information.
Lorain County was against it, and that we're going to come down there and get medieval on their behinds, and yeah, they're pulling it off.
So that's a good thing.
There's a modified version. It should have less impact locally. It's a little concerning with the schools right now. We had a little bit of a team here in Lorain County, and I've sent out a message to them that didn't look like we would have to tackle the tell-taber issue in a big way, but that as soon as I received a little bit more comprehensive information on the newest initiative, that I would communicate back with them. I'm not sure we're completely out of the woods, but it is a positive sign. It was a nasty piece of rotten legislation, and it was a nasty piece of thing that Mr. Blackwell tried to do. And now that he has ambitions of being governor, I guess that he isn't so keen on ruining government at the local level anymore. Sorry.
I don't think that was the reason why he did that. He was squeezed in the corner, excuse me. Madam Chair, may I? On Saturday, Joyce and I attended the League of Women Voters meeting in Oberlin, and thank you, Elizabeth. That was very informative. What was his name? From the Community Federation. John Carr. He was the speaker, and it was very interesting, and he gave some insights to that too. And my personal opinion is that Mr. Blackwell wanted some support from some fellow Republicans, and he wasn't going to get it if he didn't do something interesting.
I just thought it sounded better that he was afraid of us, but that's okay. Go Taylor Hicks, the Soul Patrol.
Oh, great.
Anyway, fortunately, some people have a little better understanding of local government than he does. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome.
Board correspondence?
I move the reading be waived.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Public comment?
No takers? Okay. I move that we go into executive session as outlined by our administrator.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Thursday mornings at 9:30 at the Lorain County Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and as always, you are invited to attend.
Welcome to Golden Acres, Lorain County's best kept secret. In the heart of Lorain County, we are nestled on 22 acres of rolling hills in Amherst Township. Our rural-like setting is centrally located for everyone's convenience.
Since 1997, when the Golden Acres tax levy was voluntarily abandoned, the home has been self-sufficient. We currently serve private pay and Medicaid residents and are in the process of becoming a Medicare skilled nursing facility, which will enable us to provide a wider range of service to the residents of Lorain County.
Serving Lorain County for over 100 years, Golden Acres will continue to strive to provide the highest possible degree of health, social interaction, and emotional well-being.
While selecting the best place for your loved one is never easy, many families take great comfort in choosing the friendly, home-like environment of Golden Acres. Certified by the Ohio Department of Health as an intermediate care facility, Golden Acres participates in the Medicaid reimbursement program. The facility anticipates certification as a skilled facility. Golden Acres has 82 intermediate care beds, 20 of which are for specialized care of Alzheimer and related dementia patients. Designed by the Golden Acres gerontologist consultant, the Alzheimer unit meets the needs of dementia residents who are prone to wandering and not mindful of their safety needs. Small by today's large facility standards, Golden Acres is a full-service, patient-family-oriented facility, operating 24 hours per day, 7 days per week under the guidelines of the Ohio Department of Health. Respite care is also available, ideal for those who are caring for their loved one at home and need a break from the 24-hour vigilance. Golden Acres provides residents a variety of services. As a four-season facility, Golden Acres celebrates each season with attractive decorations throughout the facility. In December, holiday festivities abound. Spring is a time of renewal, and celebrations include the annual Mother's Day Tea. In the warm months, Golden Acres residents and their families enjoy congregating outside on the patio or in the gazebo, spending lazy summer afternoons and evenings in the shade. Fall brings hazy days and cool nights, Halloween and Thanksgiving, bonfires, and hayrides. A monthly newsletter, Golden Acres Chit Chat, contains entertaining articles and information relevant to all residents and family members, including the monthly activities calendar. Golden Acres also schedules visits from dental, podiatric, optometry, audiology, and psychiatric services. Beautician visits weekly and barber visits monthly.
While no facility could take the place of your loved ones at home, our caring staff, residents, and their families will strive to make them feel at home and a welcome part of our facility.
Every year in Lorain County, hundreds of children are abused and neglected. Many are removed from their homes for their protection. Judges must decide their futures, but they need information to make these critical decisions. You can provide this information through Voices for Children. Volunteers are men and women from all walks of life with no special or legal background who work alongside attorneys, social workers, and other court employees. As an officer of the court, you find out as much as you can about the child. You will review records, interview parents and relatives, foster parents, talk to teachers, neighbors, and most importantly, the child. When the volunteer has a complete profile, he or she appears in court to recommend what is best for the child's future. You've heard the statistics on child abuse. Now is your chance to do something about it. You don't need any special qualifications, only the desire to protect local children who desperately need your help. To become a special advocate or for more information on our next training session, call Voices for Children today.
Here, have a treat, okay? No one can deny the loving devotion we get from our dogs, and I think we all agree we get back more love than we give them. I'm Dick Goddard. I'm reminding you, if you share your love with a dog, you'll never regret it. There's really nothing like a dog to spark up your life, whether you're a youngster, a senior citizen, or somewhere in between. And dogs have a whole lot of affection to share. Okay, is that good? You don't have to go far to hear heartwarming adoption stories.
With my husband is like saying man's best friend. He truly loves that dog. He feels it's part human. It's his second daughter, as Erica said. It's definitely a prize. She's queen of the house, basically. She's a good lover. She gives us a lot of attention. She's a good girl.
We had a cat before we had Abby, and Abby adapted very well. She is best friends with that cat. She will not harm that cat in any way. She's amazing. I love her. When I'm in bed at night, Abby will jump up with me and she will pull the covers back and she will lay under the covers and lay her head on the pillow just like a human.
I encourage anyone to go to the Lorain County Kennel to adopt a dog. It's given our family great satisfaction and a great reward.
After, a bad day at work or anytime you come home, it's just always nice. They kind of turn your mood around when you come in the door and they wagging their tails and jumping on you, and it's a great feeling to know that they're happy to see you and that they love you just as much as you love them. She is good with our other dog. She's good with people. She likes attention, and she likes to cuddle up with you.
It's funny when Lily, when you kind of discipline her sometimes when she does something bad, or she always seems to roll on her back and put her paws in the air and just look up at you with this sad look. So it's kind of hard to even get mad at her when she does something like that. So we kind of laugh at that.
And it's always amusing when she does get a spurt of energy and want to run around, and I was like, oh my gosh, Lily's going to play now.
Yeah,
so
like sometimes, like when I'm on the couch or whatever, and she'll hop down, and she always like tries to bite her own tail, and then that kind of like keys on our other dog, Rocky, to chime in and try to, bite at her tail a little bit, and then they start playing around a little bit.
One day we came home with some food from, I just really wanted a burger. So we had a burger, and I had it sitting on the tray table by the couch, and I got up for a minute and got a drink, came back, and Lily was licking her lips. She had eaten the whole thing, and I was not very happy with her. So I screamed and told Kurt to come down and get her away from me because I was just so upset. But we both lived, and I was fine afterwards.
One of the best things about adopting a dog from the kennel, at least for us, was, again, just giving this dog, who knows what would have happened to her, a new life, and also giving our other dog a companion during the day. It's just fun to have the two dogs and take them for walks and watch them play, and it brought us closer as well.
It just makes you feel better as a person that, you're giving a dog a better chance to live a life.